Here I'm going to look at the examples for the showcase evening. That is the problems that we're going to ask parents to solve on the evening. So the first one is that we have 7 loaves of bread, and on the evening I'm actually going to supply them with loaves that are made of little plastic cubes so they can split them up. And we have 12 workers over here. So it should be clear that everybody needs to get 7/12 of a loaf. It's just a case of the unit fractions we split that up into. With 7 loaves, if you split them all in half, you get 14 halves. So there are enough loaves to give everybody a half a loaf to start with. So that's how you would start. Everybody would get half a loaf. And then what do we have left? We've got 1 loaf, because 6 loaves split in half go to 12 workers, and we have 1 loaf left, so that needs to be split into 12 parts, like so, and everybody gets the same. Note with this particular example that a quarter plus a third also gives you 7/12, but that's not how it would have been done. They always give you the biggest bit first, so they would always start by giving a half. Now I've got 9 loaves and 14 workers. Once again, 9 times 2 is 18, so we can give everybody half a loaf to start with. So that's what we're going to do. So we'll start giving some half loaves out, and we can do that until we get to here. So we have 2 loaves left, which need to be split between 14 workers. So each of those loaves can be split in sevenths. So split each of those loaves in 7 parts and distribute them. And so we got a half plus a 7th. Next one, 10 loaves and 21 workers. And note here that 10 times 2 is only 20. So we can't give everybody half a loaf. So go to the next unit fraction, which is a third. 10 times 3 is 30. So we can start by giving everybody a third of a loaf. So let's do that. And you can see that to do that, we've used up 7 loaves. 7 times 3 is 21. So we've got 3 loaves remaining. And what we can do is split those into sevenths. And so each of those loaves gets split into 7 parts, and everybody gets the same. So the answer here is a third, add a 7th. 5 loaves and 8 workers. This is a little bit of an easier one, I think. With 5 loaves, we can easily give everybody a half. So the first 4 loaves, we just split those into half, and everybody gets that. And then the remaining loaf just needs to be split into 8 parts. So what we got here was a half and an 1/8, making up 5/8. Next one is 4 loaves and 9 workers. Clearly 4 times 2 is only 8. So once again, we're going to have to split into 3 parts. So we're going to have to give people thirds. So third and a third, and distribute everybody a third. And then the remaining loaf needs to be split into 9 parts. So that one is a third and a 9th, making 4/9. And for some reason I didn't animate that so that everybody got it in one go. But anyway, so a third and a 9th. 11 loaves and 24 workers. So this is another case where 11 times 2 is only 22. We can't use a half. But 11 times 3 is 33, so we can start by giving people thirds. And for 24 workers, that's going to use up 8 of our 11 loaves. So let's start giving people thirds of the loaf. And you can see 8 of our loaves are used up now, leaving 11 loaves left to be split between 24. So if we split each of those loaves into 8 parts, that does the trick. So we can start to distribute those. And everybody gets the same. Everybody got a third and an eighth, making our 11 over 24. This one's quite a big one, 8 loaves and 30 workers. And I can only actually fit 7 of the loaves on the screen here. Now, 8 times 3 is only 24. 8 times 4 is 32. So we're going to have to give people quarters of a loaf. Note the way that I've set the loaves up here. So we can start by giving quarters out. And I've used up those loaves, but there's still people to get a quarter. And they're on the next page where we have the remaining loaf. And we have to give out quarters from that. And then we have half a loaf left, which needs to be split into 30 parts. So that's 1/60th of a loaf. So we start giving people out 1/60th of a loaf, like so. Everybody's got the same, everybody got a quarter and a 60th, making up our 8/30ths.